Hello again. Sorry for the inconvenience and for, okay, we'll start with the basics on hearing aids. My name is Najwa Alameddine. I'm a hearing aid specialist in Lebanon. Okay, I will start with the evolution of hearing aids. It's the history. I will start my presentation by discussing how far the hearing aids industry has come over the years. Hearing aids have been around for quite some time, but they haven't been as advanced as of today. The hearing trumpet was the first real hearing device. It was invented in the 17th century, and it looked just like you imagine it would be, like a trumpet. But back then, there was no amplification or refining of the sound, and the hearing trumpet couldn't do a whole lot more than collect the sound and bring it to the ear. In the early 1900s, the first carbon hearing aids were invented, due to the invention of carbon microphones that were used in the telephones. In 1921, we saw the invention of the vacuum tubes, which led to the development of vacuum tube hearing aids, which allowed for amplification levels of up to 70 dB. While this was a substantial improvement in the amount of amplification, they were largely considered tabletop hearing aids because they were so large you couldn't really carry them around. The next big revolution in hearing aids came in the middle of the 20th century. Shortly after the transistor radio was invented, it didn't take long before hearing aids could be worn above or behind the ear, and they were a lot easier to take with you. Now hearing aids started to look like the hearing aids we use today. And from the 1960s, you could even get hearing aids that sat inside the ear canal. Until the 1800s, hearing aids technology was analog. But then things went digital, and hearing aids could now convert an analog signal, process it digitally, and then send an analog signal to the user's ear. So digitalizing hearing aids made a huge difference for people with hearing loss. The small programmable computer inside the hearing aid could amplify millions of different sound signals very precisely and improve the sound significantly compared to the hearing aids, to the analog hearing aid. These are the pictures of the trumpet and the big vacuum tubes and the pocket hearing aids. Okay, let's go inside the hearing aid. The hearing aids are small electronic devices that amplify sound. While they cannot restore normal hearing, they can help hearing impaired hear better by making sounds louder in both quiet and noisy environments. Hearing aids come in different styles that fits in or on your ear in different ways, including behind the ear, in the canal, and completely in the canal. While the style may vary, all hearing aids have the same parts. The basic parts are a microphone, sometimes two, the amplifier, the speaker, which is called also receiver, and the power supply, the batteries. How does a hearing aid work? The first microphone picks up the sound from the environment. Then the computer chip with an amplifier converts the sound waves into electrical signals. It analyzes and adjusts the sound based on your hearing loss and the level of other sounds around you. These amplified signals are converted back into sound waves and delivered to your ear through the speaker or receiver. In this way, hearing aids can improve your hearing and comprehension. Would you like to ask some questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the difference between digital and analog hearing aids. Prior to digital technology or digital hearing aids, the sending waves was limited to analog hearing aid technology. This is where the analog signal is modified in some way, such as amplifying the strength or frequency of the signal in order to add information to the signal. An analog signal is represented in series of sine waves, while digital describes electronic technology that generates and processes data in terms of two states, a 1 or a 0. One of the biggest complaints with analogs hearing aids is that they amplify all sounds and they cannot distinguish between speech and noise. This resulted in a poor sound quality for hearing aid wearers. This is a diagram of a digital hearing aid. It shows the processing stages in the digital hearing aid. So I will, this is how it shows the acoustic sound waves of the input signal. Let's say people talking. They are captured by the hearing aid microphones, then passed on to the AD converter. The AD is the analog to digital converter. The AD converter translates the analog signal into a digital signal. Then it goes to the digital processor, where engineers can apply advanced features. Finally, the processed digital signal is translated back into an analog signal with the DA, digital to analog converter, which is then transformed into acoustic sound waves into user's ear by the receiver. The obvious advantages of the digital hearing aid is that they are unlimited ways in which the digital signal can be manipulated. Some of these factors that can be applied, as you can see in the diagram, you can have directional microphone, you have the high definition locator, different channel, you can have different quantity of channels, quantities of bands, noise suppression, speech enhancement, feedback cancellation, soft noise reduction, and wind noise reduction. These possibilities offer significantly greater application and benefits than found in analog hearing aids. This results in a better customer experience with hearing aids. Now we have to show the different styles and types of hearing aids. We have 6 different types of hearing aids: the behind the ear, the in the ear, the completely in the canal, and the invisible in the canal, and the receiver in the canal, and the receiver in the ear. Let's go deep into each one of them. Behind the ear, all the electronic components of a classic BTE model are located in a housing placed behind your ear. A slim plastic tube with ear mold in the end directs the amplified sound from the hearing aid into your ear. Manual controls, as you can see in the picture, the volume and the program changes are placed on the top side of the hearing aid. This is for the to make it easier to access for a hearing aid user. A BTE is the best choice for a patient who have moderate to severe, even to profound hearing loss, and also for small ear canals, which makes it difficult to fit an entire hearing aid into the ear canal, into the ear. ITE. ITE is in the ear. All the electronic components are within the plastic shell molded to fit the ear. The ITE model is placed in the ear canal, but with the faceplate still visible in the concha of your ear. The size, as well as the visibility of the ITE, depends on the degree and of the hearing loss and the shape of the ear canal. Sometimes you can have an option of user control for volume or program. It can be placed on the shell, on the faceplate. This hearing aid is suitable for mild to severe hearing loss. CIC, completely in the canal hearing aid. Sorry? Okay. Sorry, I can't hear you. Okay, I'll continue with the third type of model, a style of hearing aid. The CIC. It is also made shell that contain all the electronic components are placed deeply in the ear canal, making the hearing aid almost invisible. It is fully automatic, and it is one of the smallest. It's one of the smallest hearing aid models, and it is specially suitable for mild to moderate hearing loss. We can add a removal handle to it's in a small extension cord to be able to remove it from the ear. Okay. IIC is a little bit smaller than the CIC. It's invisible in the ear, and it's also custom made, and all the electronics are placed individually in the shell, providing an optimum and small fit. The IIC is very small. It's small enough to be deep inside the ear canal, making it virtually invisible. Its placement also allows patients to still benefit from the natural shape of the ear for better localization of sounds. IIC, like CIC, are fully automatic, and they are suitable for mild to moderately severe hearing loss. Also, we have an extension cord or a removal handle attached to the outside in order to be easier to remove it from the ear. Okay, receiver in the canal. This is a very interesting product. Compared to a classic BTE hearing aid, the receiver in the canal is placed in the ear tip instead of in the housing, thereby reducing its size. The RIC model consists of 3 types. Okay. So the receiver model, the RIC model, it consists of 3 parts: the housing, which sits behind the ear, and the thin ear wire connecting the housing to the receiver. The receiver goes directly into the ear. So this model is very discreet, yet it's very powerful. It could be very powerful, and it works fully automatic. It is suitable for mild to severe hearing loss. Sorry. Okay. Since the invention of the receiver in the canal hearing aids, the RIC, we were able to fit normal to severe sloping hearing losses in a better way. Like the audiogram that is available on the screen, on the end of the tube, it is connected to a very small tip that holds the tube in place inside the canal. No ear mold is involved. This is the open fit hearing aid. The tip is made of a very small soft material. Usually it's a silicone material. The whole design really reduces the occlusion effect. Since the tip keeps the ear ventilated, it enables low frequency sounds to flow in and out. To flow in and out the ear without being amplified. The open fit was originally designed for people with minor or moderate hearing loss on the high frequency. Patients with this kind of hearing loss sometimes complain that on standard hearing aids, the lower tones are amplified for no reason. Regular hearing aids that seal the ear canal, make the patient hear his own voice, his chewing voices,